Welcome to the Senior Health video. This video will talk about 7 silent autoimmune symptoms you must catch early. Have millions of Americans been ignoring silent autoimmune symptoms without knowing that their bodies have been signaling distress long before real damage appears? That question carries a weight that grows heavier every year as more people notice unusual fatigue, stubborn aches, or strange changes in their skin and digestion, yet feel unsure about what those shifts truly mean. This uncertainty is not just unsettling, it creates a quiet fear that something deeper might be happening inside the body, even when no obvious illness is present. That quiet fear becomes far more urgent when the immune system begins attacking healthy cells. Autoimmune diseases do not explode into chaos. They unfold slowly and quietly, creating inflammation that targets joints, organs, nerves, and skin, while many people assume they are simply getting older or dealing with stress. By the time the pattern becomes clear, the damage may already be affecting everyday life. This silent progression is what makes autoimmune conditions so dangerous, because the earliest signs are often the easiest to overlook. This is exactly why understanding these early signals is so important. When the body sends subtle warnings, it is trying to protect itself before more serious harm develops. Missing those warnings can lead to long-term complications that impact mobility, heart health, kidney function, and overall independence. Yet recognizing them early can stop that progression and give every person the chance to take control of their health before the situation becomes irreversible. Today's guide reveals the 9 most dangerous autoimmune warning signs supported by research and acknowledged by leading specialists across the United States. Each sign tells a story about what the body is fighting, and each one offers a chance to intervene before permanent damage occurs. With that understanding, the journey into these signals begins with one of the most overlooked yet powerful clues: chronic fatigue, a deep exhaustion that refuses to fade even after rest. Number 1, unexplained chronic fatigue. As the journey into autoimmune warning signs begins, the first and most striking signal is unexplained chronic fatigue, a form of exhaustion that feels completely different from ordinary tiredness. This type of fatigue often appears long before people understand that the immune system has started working against healthy cells, and its silent nature makes it one of the easiest symptoms to dismiss. Yet this is the moment when the body is sending some of its strongest early warnings. This fatigue does not fade after a long night of rest. It lingers from morning until evening and creates a heaviness in the body that makes simple tasks feel unusually difficult. Many Americans describe it as walking through wet sand or moving with an invisible weight pressing on their shoulders. The reason is rooted in inflammation. When the immune system misfires, it releases inflammatory proteins that interfere with the body's natural ability to create energy. This disrupts the mitochondria, which act as tiny engines inside the cells, and once those engines slow down, the entire body loses momentum. Research across major medical centers in the United States has shown that more than 80% of autoimmune patients report this deep, draining exhaustion long before receiving a diagnosis. One woman shared that she slept 12 hours a night, yet woke up feeling as if she had not slept at all, and months later she discovered early autoimmune inflammation affecting her nervous system. Understanding the sign is powerful, but recognizing it is only the beginning, because the next clue reveals how the immune system can silently target the joints and create damage long before pain becomes obvious. But knowing this alone is not enough, because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 2, joint pain, swelling, and morning stiffness. Moving from the silent exhaustion of chronic fatigue, the next warning sign becomes even more physical and far harder to ignore. Joint pain and morning stiffness are among the most revealing early indicators that the immune system may be targeting the body from within. This symptom does not behave like normal age-related discomfort. It strikes with a pattern that feels unusual from the very first moments of the day. Many Americans describe waking up with hands that feel tight or knees that feel locked, as if the joints have been frozen overnight. This stiffness can last longer than 1 hour and creates a deep pressure that makes every movement feel slow and uncomfortable. The real concern lies in what is happening inside the joints. When the immune system misfires, it sends autoantibodies to the lining of the joints, which leads to continuous inflammation. That inflammation gradually begins to erode cartilage and strain surrounding tissues, which is why the pain often feels symmetrical in both hands or both knees. Medical studies across the United States show that this type of pain improves slightly as the day goes on because movement reduces stiffness, but the underlying inflammation continues to build silently. One man in his 50s shared that he believed his morning stiffness was simply a sign of getting older until tests revealed early autoimmune damage forming in the small joints of his hands. Understanding this pattern is essential, yet the story does not end here because the immune system can create signals that are far more subtle, and one of them appears in a form so mild that many people overlook it completely. But knowing this alone is not enough because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 3, persistent low-grade fever. As the pattern of joint pain and stiffness becomes clearer, another warning sign rises quietly in the background, and it is one that many Americans tend to brush off. Persistent low-grade fever can appear long before any major symptoms develop, and its subtle nature makes it easy to mistake for simple stress or mild dehydration. Yet this gentle rise in temperature carries a message that the immune system is pushing into overdrive. This type of fever usually lingers between 99 and 101 degrees Fahrenheit, and it often appears without any sign of infection. Instead, it reflects internal inflammation as the body releases cytokines, which act like chemical messengers that signal the brain to raise body temperature. Unlike a typical viral fever, this one does not follow the familiar pattern of spiking, then breaking. It may come and go over days or weeks and never fully settle, which is why it becomes such a powerful early clue. American research centers report that many autoimmune patients experience this mild fever months before receiving a diagnosis. One woman recalled feeling warm almost every evening while believing that the heat was simply related to work stress. Later, she learned that her immune system had been attacking the tissues around her lungs, creating low-level inflammation for a long period before more serious symptoms appeared. Recognizing this lingering fever can make a significant difference, especially when paired with other subtle changes in the body. However, understanding this sign is only one step in the larger pattern because autoimmune diseases can also leave visible marks on the skin marks that can tell an even deeper story, but knowing this alone is not enough because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 4, skin rashes and the butterfly pattern. As the quiet rise in temperature continues, another warning sign begins to appear on the surface of the body, a sign that is far harder to ignore once it shows itself. Skin rashes, especially the butterfly-shaped pattern across the cheeks and nose, are among the most recognizable clues that the immune system may be attacking healthy tissues. This type of rash is not like a typical irritation. It often arrives suddenly, becomes sensitive to sunlight, and follows a shape that feels almost too specific to be random. Many Americans first notice it after a day outdoors, when the face turns unusually red, even with limited sun exposure. The reason is rooted in immune activity. When ultraviolet light touches the skin, it can trigger inflammatory reactions in people with autoimmune tendencies. Cells damaged by sunlight release signals that attract the immune system, and instead of calming the area, the immune system mistakenly attacks the skin, creating redness, swelling, or scaly patches. This is why the butterfly rash appears so frequently in autoimmune conditions such as lupus, and why it often becomes more intense after time spent outside. Medical reports across the United States highlight that this rash is more than a cosmetic concern. It represents visible inflammation that reflects much deeper activity inside the body. One patient shared that she first dismissed the redness on her face as ordinary sensitivity until her doctor explained that early autoimmune inflammation had already begun affecting tissues beyond the skin. Recognizing these skin changes can help reveal what the immune system is truly fighting. But understanding this sign still leaves an important question, because autoimmune conditions can also affect body weight in ways that feel sudden, confusing, and often frightening. But knowing this alone is not enough because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 5, unexplained weight loss or weight gain. As changes on the skin begin to reveal deeper inflammation, another powerful warning sign emerges within the body's metabolism. Unexplained weight loss or sudden weight gain can be one of the clearest indicators that the immune system is interfering with hormonal balance, especially within the thyroid. This type of weight change does not follow normal patterns. It appears even when eating habits remain stable and daily routines stay the same. Many Americans first notice that their clothes fit differently or that the scale shifts dramatically over a short period of time. The root cause often lies in autoimmune activity targeting the thyroid gland. When the immune system attacks this gland, it disrupts the production of thyroid hormones, which control how fast or slow the body burns energy. If the thyroid becomes underactive, the metabolism slows down, leading to weight gain. If it becomes overactive, the body burns energy too quickly, leading to weight loss even without lifestyle changes. Studies across the United States confirm that these sudden shifts are frequently seen in conditions such as Hashimoto disease and Graves' disease. One patient shared that she gained nearly 15 pounds in 2 months despite eating less than usual. Another described losing weight rapidly while feeling constantly anxious and overheated. Both later discovered autoimmune inflammation affecting the thyroid, and both realized the weight changes were early warnings rather than random fluctuations. Understanding these metabolic changes is essential because they reveal how the immune system can disrupt vital processes long before a diagnosis is made. Yet even this sign points toward a deeper pattern because autoimmune activity can also target the digestive system in ways that create persistent discomfort and confusion. But knowing this alone is not enough because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 6, digestive issues including bloating, diarrhea, or abdominal pain. As unexpected weight changes begin raising questions about internal balance, an even more disruptive warning sign appears within the digestive system. Chronic bloating, persistent diarrhea, constipation, or abdominal pain can signal that the immune system is targeting the intestinal lining and interfering with the body's ability to absorb nutrients. These symptoms often feel confusing because they come and go without a clear pattern, and many people mistake them for mild food sensitivity or temporary stress. The reality is far more complex. When the immune system attacks the digestive tract, it creates inflammation that damages the cells responsible for breaking down food and absorbing vitamins and minerals. This inflammation weakens the protective barrier of the gut, allowing irritants to pass through and triggering a cycle of discomfort that becomes harder to ignore over time. Conditions such as celiac disease and Crohn disease show exactly how autoimmune activity can transform normal digestion into an exhausting daily struggle. Medical centers across the United States have documented cases where patients live with these symptoms for months, trying different diets and over-the-counter remedies before discovering that autoimmune inflammation was the true cause. One man shared that he eliminated dairy and gluten, believing they were responsible for his bloating, only to learn later that his small intestine had been affected by early celiac disease, which explained the nutrient deficiencies he developed despite a healthy diet. Recognizing these digestive changes is essential because they reveal how autoimmune disorders can disrupt the body from the inside out. Yet even this painful disruption leads to another visible signal, because autoimmune activity can attack hair follicles and create sudden thinning or bald patches that feel both alarming and unexpected. But knowing this alone is not enough because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 7, hair loss or sudden bald patches. As ongoing digestive discomfort begins revealing how deeply the immune system can affect the body, another visible and emotionally challenging warning sign often appears next. Hair loss, especially sudden thinning or round bald patches, can signal that the immune system is attacking the hair follicles and disrupting the natural growth cycle. This sign is particularly alarming because it is both physical and deeply personal, and it often arrives without any clear explanation. In many autoimmune conditions, the immune system targets the follicles as if they were foreign objects. This triggers inflammation around the roots, which forces the hair to fall out faster than it can regrow. Some people notice small, smooth patches on the scalp. Others see overall thinning, especially along the hairline or at the crown. Unlike normal seasonal shedding, this type of hair loss feels sudden, unpredictable, and emotionally overwhelming because it creates changes that cannot be easily hidden. Research from clinics across the United States shows that hair loss is common in conditions such as alopecia, areata, lupus, and thyroid-related autoimmune disorders. One patient recalled losing a handful of hair every time she brushed in the morning. At first, she believed it was stress from work until blood tests later showed autoimmune inflammation affecting her thyroid, which explained the sudden thinning and the unusual dryness of her hair. Understanding this type of hair loss becomes a powerful clue because it exposes how autoimmune conditions can influence both appearance and internal function long before a clear diagnosis is made. Yet even this visible signal is not the final or most serious concern, because the immune system can also strike the nervous system, creating sensations that feel strange, frightening, and increasingly hard to ignore. But knowing this alone is not enough, because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 8. Numbness, tingling, or muscle weakness. As sudden hair loss reveals how autoimmune activity can affect the surface of the body, an even more alarming signal begins to appear deep within the nervous system. Numbness, tingling, and unexpected muscle weakness are among the most serious early indicators that the immune system may be attacking the nerves that control movement and sensation. These sensations often feel strange at first, like a light buzzing in the hands or a brief tingling in the feet, but they become harder to dismiss as they grow more frequent. This happens because autoimmune conditions can damage the myelin that protects nerve fibers, or the peripheral nerves that carry messages from the brain to the rest of the body. When this protective coating becomes inflamed, signals travel more slowly or become interrupted entirely. People may notice that their grip feels weak or that climbing stairs suddenly takes more effort. Some feel a warmth spreading across one leg. Others describe a sudden loss of balance, as if the body is responding a second too late. Neurology clinics across the United States report that these early neurological symptoms appear in conditions such as multiple sclerosis and Guillain-Barré syndrome. One patient shared that he first felt a tingling sensation in his toes after long workdays. He believed it was related to standing for hours until the weakness began spreading upward. Further testing revealed autoimmune inflammation affecting the nerves in his spine, which explained why his legs no longer responded the way they once did. Understanding these neurological changes is crucial because they can appear months before a clear diagnosis. However, even this warning sign is not the most dangerous outcome, because autoimmune activity can move beyond nerves and begin attacking vital organs, including the heart, kidneys, liver, and lungs. But knowing this alone is not enough, because another far more dangerous factor is waiting ahead. Number 9. Organ damage, including the kidneys. Liver, lungs, or heart, as neurological changes begin revealing how deeply autoimmune activity can interfere with the body, the most serious warning sign appears when vital organs themselves come under attack. Organ damage involving the kidneys, liver, lungs, or heart represents one of the most dangerous stages of autoimmune disease, because the immune system shifts from targeting surface tissues to striking the structures responsible for life-sustaining functions. This progression often happens quietly, which makes awareness even more critical. Inside the body, autoimmune inflammation can harm the kidneys by damaging the glomeruli, which filter waste from the blood. When these filters become inflamed, they leak protein into the urine, while toxins build up in the bloodstream. Similar attacks can strike the liver, creating inflammation that disrupts detoxification and metabolism. The lungs may develop scarring that makes breathing difficult, while the heart can become inflamed in ways that increase the risk of heart failure or dangerous rhythm changes. None of these complications appear suddenly. They grow piece by piece until the symptoms become impossible to ignore. Hospitals across the United States document cases in which patients lived for months without realizing their organs were being affected. One woman believed her swollen ankles were due to long work shifts. She later learned that autoimmune inflammation had already reduced her kidney function, which explained her fatigue, shortness of breath, and rapid weight changes. Her symptoms seemed mild at first, but the underlying damage had been building silently over time. Understanding this stage is essential because it reveals how far autoimmune activity can progress without dramatic warning signs. Yet even with knowledge of this severe stage, there is still a deeper truth about autoimmune conditions that helps explain why early detection matters more than most people realize. But knowing this alone is not enough, because another far more dangerous. After exploring these 9 warning signs, one truth becomes clear. Autoimmune diseases rarely shout for attention. They whisper through small changes that slowly grow louder until they begin affecting daily life. Fatigue that will not fade, joint pain that settles in each morning, fevers that linger, skin rashes that appear without warning, weight changes that make no sense, digestive problems that refuse to calm down, sudden hair loss, tingling or weakness that moves through the arms or legs. And finally, the possibility of organ involvement that can shape long-term health if left unnoticed. When viewed together, these signs reveal a pattern that can guide anyone toward earlier recognition and better care. Yet knowing these signs brings more than fear. It brings power. Autoimmune diseases may be complex, yet they become far more manageable when discovered early. Many Americans have improved their health by tracking symptoms, writing them down, and speaking openly with their doctors. Small changes, such as reducing stress, supporting sleep, staying active, and choosing foods that calm inflammation, create meaningful progress over time. No one has to face these conditions alone. Every step toward understanding strengthens the ability to protect long-term health. With this knowledge, viewers gain something valuable: the chance to act before damage becomes permanent, the chance to ask better questions at appointments, the chance to listen to the body with more confidence, and the chance to begin healing sooner than expected. The next video will explore simple daily habits and foods that support a healthier immune system and help the body stay balanced even with autoimmune challenges. For now, viewers are encouraged to save this video so the information stays within reach, and to subscribe so they never miss new medical insights that support healthier aging. Every small choice begins a new path forward, and today can be the first step toward lasting strength, hope, and better health.